Pylon listeners, we are back. Week 7 of the NFL is complete, and there's a lot to talk about here in the NFC North. Before we get going, a quick programming note on this episode. Remy, our distinguished Vikings fan, will not be able to make this episode. He is caught up in work, but we also think he might just want to take a break from talking about the 1-5 Minnesota Vikings. So either way, he will not be here on this episode, but there's still plenty to talk about. So I'm Big Z representing the Detroit Lions. Let's go around to the other two. We got Kinger representing the Pack.
Packer back on track, boys. Feels good. Good to be back with you, boys.
And then right after this Monday night game against the Rams, we got Barney representing the Bears.
Fire Nagy into the fucking sun.
I mean, there. Let's take it from there, Barney, shall we? Just everything about this Bears performance here on Monday night, and I know you're not a fan of Nagy. Maybe you can go into a little bit as to why. And I know you've already explained it in past podcasts, but what specifically tonight just is rubbing you the wrong way here?
The fact that we scored 3 points. That would probably be for starters. He's just awful. He's absolutely despicable as a offensive coordinator. Every time they show him with his play chart with that BU just staring me in the face, I just want to run through the fucking screen and beat the shit out of him. He needs to be anybody but himself. That's how this Bears team is going to win. I mean, it's pathetic, dude. I mean, this was the first game where the defense did not have a good game. And as you can see, when the defense doesn't absolutely put a clamp down on the opposing offense, we really don't stand that much of a chance. And that's just pathetic. We're letting a talented group go to waste. But I'm so tired of this backyard bullshit that Nagy calls. Everyone, there's that famous quote, one man's trash is another man's treasure. The Bears keep picking up trash thinking something's going to happen. And, we take a failed wide receiver experiment who got cut from 3 or 4 different teams in Cordero Patterson, and we bring him over here. And, I got nothing against him as a special teamer, but we incorporate him in our offense as a running back, and we put him in crucial downs, like 4th and 1, and we do pitches to him. And it's not the first time. It's like the 3rd, 4th down conversion that the Bears have brought in Cordero Patterson. I don't get it. The only good running back we have on our team is Montgomery. We don't have an offensive line. At that point in time, we had, another failed experiment, Rashad Coward, who couldn't make it in the league as a defensive tackle. So the Bears say, hey, we're geniuses. We're going to grab you and you're going to play guard for us. He sucks. He flat out sucks. His running mate right to the left, Charles Leno, is just the worst piece of shit on the Bears, maybe in the entire league. But hey, at this point in time, our center, Cody Whitehair, had just went down. So now we got our backup Sam Mustipher in. And hey, we're gonna put our big wide receiver who can't read a hole or make a cutback or do anything, but we're gonna run it right up the gut against Aaron Donald nonetheless. And we're gonna try to get it in here with this horse shit line. I mean, he's so predictable. I'm sitting here before the plays are even called, and I just say run, and it's a run. Pass, and it's pass. 3 times out of 10, he'll get me. But it's like I'm just a guy on the couch. How do I know what he's gonna run? And he feel good about himself when there are people who make millions of dollars game planning and scheming against him that are just they probably just put their feet up every day during film session when they got the Bears coming up and just crack open a few beers with the boys and say, hey, fellas, we don't got to do much out there because this stupid, bald head coach fuck is gonna do all our work for us.
And Barney, I just want to read a quick stat from our producer, Kid Jay. This is the 24th time in Matt Nagy's 40 games as Bears head coach. The offense has failed to score 21 points.
Yeah, I mean, we brought him in because he's an offensive guru. But, like you said, we have this fantastic defense. He gets field position a lot of the times. Not today. He didn't get any field position today because Ted Ginn, somebody that if I'm talking about Ted Ginn, you know it's shit. You know it was a shit performance. Dude, this dude, every single punt, he didn't field one of them. He didn't fair catch a single fucking punt. He just kept letting them drop inside the 20 fucking yard line. And our offense is already so bad. At least Cordell Patterson on kickoffs will take it back from like the inch yard line in the back of the end zone because he knows, hey, our offense is so shitty, this might be able to, spring us something good here. But I don't know, man. There's no accountability on the defensive side of the ball. You got Akeem Hicks being penalized left and right, and then just every time the camera zooms in after that, he's just giggling, and it's just like, dude, what are you doing? Yeah, the defense is just uncharacteristically just missing tackles left and right, just getting bounced off. Dude, it's just a horseshit game. We laid an egg. And unfortunately, when our defense doesn't play well, it is just an absolutely brutal fucking product to watch. And
so those offensive line problems that you talk about, Barney, and some of the personnel, is this a Matt Nagy issue or a Ryan Pace issue? At least in the personnel, not the play calling, just in the personnel department.
Well, I mean, it's both. Both of them hold a lot of blame for this. The reason why we're strapped with cash is because we decided to pay Leno close to $10 million and Bobby Massey close to $10 million. These guys suck. I mean, they fucking suck. It's embarrassing. And we can't pull them. We can't pull them. Why? You can pick up anybody at a truck stop in Northwest Indiana and find somebody that's going to give you a little bit better play than Charles Leno. But, when you're talking about personnel, let's see. We start playing the game with Cole Kmet, somebody I've said we need to utilize more because he's an effective pass blocker or run blocker. And, he's a pretty talented catching tight end. And he had 2 catches for like 50 yards in like the first 2 drives. And then we go back to Demetrius Harris, who's got feet for hands. And we're talking like, is it scheme? Is it personnel? Is it Nagy? Is it pace? Dude, it's so bad. Like we got in the 10-yard line or whatever the fuck it was when we got intercepted, right? In the end zone. And these announcers are calling it out. Wow, they're subbing out Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham is our legitimate inside the 10, 15 yards inside the red zone. He is our red zone target threat. And we take him out. But hey, let's throw a double coverage ball, 50-50, to our shrimp rookie, Darnell Mooney, who I love. That's not on him. That was a bad decision by Nick Foles. But it's also like Nagy sets everybody up for failure. It's fucking pathetic.
Kinger, did you want to throw something in there?
Tonight was just a night where the Bears just straight, they were exposed, quite frankly. And Barney, you talk about having talent across the board. The Bears do have a lot of talent in select areas, elite talent in select areas, right? When we talk about Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, you got to put Allen Robinson in that elite conversation as well. But outside of those particular areas, the Bears are really subpar, as we know, across the board, right? And they've made some very poor investments. We talked about that offensive line, Barney. The offensive line is horrendous. There's no going around that. Granted, the Rams do have a good defense. Their defensive line is elite, but they made the Bears look very, very bad offense tonight, right? And then you invest in the quarterback, and I think Foles has to take some responsibility for some of this tonight, to be honest. I don't think he played great. They had the tidbit out there talking about, is there some rift in the locker room? Foles saying Nagy doesn't know how much time he's going to have when he calls the plays tonight. I don't know if you guys heard that little tidbit.
Yep, I saw it.
I mean, the perfect example, they should have never been in this position, but, and they did have a blitzer coming off the edge, but I think it was second quarter, the Bears were within their own 10-yard line, and the Rams brought a blitzer off the edge. Darnell Mooney made a great double move on Jalen Ramsey wide open down the sideline, that would have possibly gone the whole –
Burned him.
That could have burned him.
Yeah.
Foles just overthrew him, right? And there's just a couple examples.
No, threw him out of bounds.
But that wasn't on him though. That's because we got Aaron Donald split to the right, and we shade all three linemen from center all the way to tackle to Bobby Massey after him. And yet, it was a great scheme by the Rams, the defensive coordinator. Then he brings in the blitz from the other side, and he got Charles fucking Leno and Rashad Coward to block three guys. I don't even there was a play where, and I'm going to try to jog your guys' memory just because David Montgomery hit a clean spin move the second he got the ball in the backfield. And it was because Rashad Coward and Leno double teamed, or you would have thought it was a double team to Aaron Donald. The only move Aaron Donald did was turn sideways. He didn't do any sort of things with his feet. He just turned sideways, and both of those guys, all four hands, missed a 260-pound person? How the fuck are you that slow and dumb? You're right. We invested poorly in a couple areas, but dude, there's no heart. Fire Leno. Just get him the fuck off the team right now. I don't want him taking another snap. If they bring in somebody else like Spriggs or some schmo, and he plays equally to Leno, which is dumpster trash, I will be fine with it, because at least we made a fucking aggressive move and got him the fuck off he's a lazy piece of shit.
So Barney, let me ask you that. So you are okay with Foles' performance tonight?
No, not at all, dude. Not at all. I was just saying for that pass in general, he threw the ball when the double move was being made. He was throwing it 2 seconds before he wanted to. And that's because we are so inept at scheme. Nagy doesn't know what a blocking scheme is to save his fucking life, man. I don't know, dude. It's just so bad. And I don't feel great about Bill Lazor, being our offensive coordinator either, but holy shit, something's got to be done, because Nagy, this offensive guru, can't even score 21 points, dude. It's just so bad.
Are the Bears still making the right decision with Nick Foles, or does Mitch Trubisky deserve to get back in there? No,
I think Nick Foles identifies things. He understands coverages and he gets it.
But so, is Mitch Trubisky a product of bad coaching over the years? And, say, if you threw him in a team like New England or something, would you see him succeed better than he has done in this Bears offense so far?
Yeah.
That was just an argument going on I saw all night from people. So
you guys are catching me at a very hot moment right now.
Trubisky's fundamentals are so bad, I don't think it would matter.
Trubisky, I truly believe he's a great kid and he's an athlete. Absolutely. I do think he's dumber than a box of rocks, though. And unfortunately, you got to be a pretty bright guy or just an amazing talent to make it into this league as a quarterback. So I think Nick, he kind of handicaps some of our deficiencies. But at the same time, what do you guys know what that tidbit was, just for the listeners in case they don't know? What exactly was said about, Nick Foles basically hearing a play call and just calling it in the huddle or something like that, just knowing damn well it's not going to work out. Do you know what that quote was?
So Jason Lizer of a Sun-Times beat writer tweeted out, Brian Griese just said that Nick Foles, so Brian Griese, Monday Night Football announcer, just said that Nick Foles told the ESPN crew that sometimes Nagy sends in a play call and Foles already knows it won't work, and sends in a play call and Foles already knows it won't work because he won't have enough time after the snap.
Dude, he's just so dumb, man. I mean, everything about the offense from an X's and O's standpoint, we are fighting an uphill battle. Because I don't know, like, dude, like you marketed yourself as this offensive guy, and we're gonna put some points on the board. How many games do we have to watch where we suck on offense to where he's gonna say, you know what? Maybe I'm the fucking problem. I know the offensive line sucks and doesn't really give us a chance, but I clearly don't know how to coach this offense, so I need to give up the reins. And that's what needs to be done.
Just a reminder, the Bears are 5-2, Barney. You know, your frustration makes it sound like, you know, they are a bottom feeder in the NFL, but in fact they were going for first place tonight in the NFC.
Yeah, and that's
so. Do you have a lot of confidence that the Bears can make the playoffs based on your feelings right now?
Playoffs, yeah. I mean, I don't. My mood today is not different from what it was in most of those wins that we had. I've said basically every time we won that it was a horseshit game. It's just our defense bails us out, and our defense laid an egg today. We couldn't do anything. There was no heart out there. I don't understand. I mean, I'd be chomping at the bit on Monday Night Football on prime time when America's watching, and just to have that lack of effort displayed out there, it's fucking embarrassing, dude.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough one tonight for all Bears fans out there, but. Good news for you is that they get to travel to, I believe, New Orleans next week. So that's something.
I think, aren't the Bears at home next week? Or are they going down to the Superdome?
Yes, I'm sorry. They are at home. They are at home. Sorry. They get to play New Orleans, but in Chicago at least.
How about, last comment I want to make, how about Leonard Floyd tonight, huh? How about Leonard Floyd coming out, having himself a good football game?
And that is exactly the point. That should highlight how fucking bad this offensive line is. That somebody like Leonard Floyd can go off on us. I mean, I don't know what acrobatic moves he was doing, jump swatting. It was crazy, but it was so fundamentally bad. And yet our offensive line just like ushers these guys in. The fact that Leonard Floyd had a good game should just be testimony that we need to clean house on the offensive line.
All right. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the Bears discussion for the Week 7 roundup. But Barney, you're 5-2, so there's plenty of games left to turn around.
It could be worse. We could be the Lions. You're right.
No, we could be the Vikings.
I'd rather be the Vikings than the Lions.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Remy's not here, and I won't talk shit about somebody that's not here to defend themselves.
Well, let's talk about a team that had a completely different experience in Week 7, and that's the Packers. They just completely annihilated the Houston Texans this weekend. 35-20 victory. Aaron Rodgers, 283, 23 of 34, 4 touchdowns, no picks, not a single sack. I don't even know if he was touched by a finger of the Houston Texans. Kinger, just break it down for us. How good was this offense on Sunday?
It was a lot of fun to watch, and they, seemed like the Bucs game, didn't even happen, right? They got right back on stride. Rodgers looked great. Matt LaFleur play calling was excellent. No Aaron Jones this week, so there was some questions as well. I mean, across the board, there were a lot of injuries coming in. No Kevin King, no Darnell Savage. As I mentioned, no Aaron Jones, so no Bakhtiari. There was at least some concern that that there was going to be an effect in the game with that. And Houston's a very good football team, or not. Houston's offense has been proven to be well worthy this season thus far. Houston is not a very good football team. They're absolutely terrible, to be honest. And that's why it felt good, or it was fun to watch Green Bay, just like I said, get back in stride. Devontae absolute beast when he's been healthy this season, putting up insane stats, 13 for 196 and 2 touchdowns. And I mean, just as a whole, the offense, it looked great. The offensive line improved this week. Like you said, no sacks. They seemed to do whatever they wanted, and it was just overall a very strong performance and kind of what I expected, right? Defense played with a lot more of a sense of urgency this week, which was great to see. Again, I want to give respect to the Houston Texans offense and what they've at least done thus far this season. Deshaun headed into this week third in passing yards again. Will Fuller is a very good wide receiver, but overall, Green Bay made it look easy, and that's what you expect. Up in with the Packers fans, teams that you should beat. That's what Green Bay is expected to do, and I think I was pretty much almost spot on with the score prediction this week. So, good week again for Titletown, USA.
And Devontae Adams, 13 catches on 16 targets, 196 yards and 2 touchdowns. And 13 of the 23 completions. I mean, is this the Packers offense going forward? Are they going to target Devontae Adams 16 times every game?
I mean, they can.
I just think the Texans
that
defense is bad. So this is a great game a great team to go against to fix whatever offensive woes they had the week before, right?
Exactly. I mean, Texans defense they're lowly. They're one of the lowest ranked in the league. Not a lot of depth across the board, and Devontae made it look easy. I mean, that final touchdown of the game, or I think it was the second to last touchdown of the game, when he just had a great little hesitation, an inside move, and just ran right up the slot when Rodgers get him and then finished the play. I mean, he looked really good this week, fully healthy, obviously, and showed again why he is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, and the Packers are, the thing I respect about them right now is how well they're Matt LaFleur is coaching this offense right now. They scheme people to be wide open. It's kind of the anti what Barney was talking about with Matt Nagy and the Bears about how a coach is able to scheme up like all these wide receivers are wide open for Aaron Rodgers. It's like when Matt Stafford, even with Darren Bevell on offense, they're not getting wide receivers open nearly to the clip that the Packers are currently. What is Matt LaFleur doing to get these receivers so wide open? I know just from discussion of analysts, they're using a lot of motions, more so than they've ever done on when Aaron Rodgers has been in Green Bay. Splitting running backs out to the slot. Even A.J. Dillon, who's 250 pounds, maybe he's not going to get the ball out there, but they're doing it just to see the matchup. But I was hoping you can maybe expound on that a little bit, just what Matt LaFleur is doing.
You hit the nail on the head, really. I mean, it does start with the motion aspect of it. And when McCarthy was the head coach of the Packers, I mean, they used to talk about how that was just pretty much non-existent in the Packers' offensive scheme whatsoever. So the motion but the big thing is like, Shanahan, like McVay, they want a lot of repetition. They want plays to look the same. So I was watching some Twitter film the other day, and I saw, I think, like 7 or 8 different formations that the Packers basically ran the same route combination out of, right? And that's hard to defend against. The whole point of that is obviously to keep the defense off. Guessing, you run one play looks the same one way, and then they do the completely opposite thing the next time around. It's very hard to plan for. And I think just overall, the run-pass mix has been elite, or been where it needs to be. The run or the offensive line has been elite. And we have those combination of things with a quarterback as good as Aaron Rodgers, with a running back as good as Aaron Jones, and a wide receiver as good as Devontae Adams across the board. It's a very solid recipe for success, and the Packers really do have a lot of playmakers there that can make it difficult for defenses.
Yeah, Barney. So I mean, the Bears after tonight fall to 5-2, half game back in the NFC North. Do you feel the Bears right now can compete with the Packers for going forward here, just based on what you saw tonight and what you saw of the Packers this weekend?
I mean, the last 4 times he faced the Packers, they've been very close games. I think. Well, one thing that the Texans don't do is they don't get after the passer. So, if you give Aaron fits and you can crash the pocket, like I know the Bears can, that that isn't going to line up a great stat line for Aaron Rodgers. So going forward, like I want to say in like other 4 games, we won one of them, and the other 3, I'm pretty sure we were winning at some point. Maybe not for long, but whatever. Randall Cobb had a big touchdown like at the last end of the game. Marquez Valdez-Scantling got like a 60-yard bomb. The thing is that the only way to beat the Packers from a Bears aspect, because we're not going to put too many points up on the board, is you gotta play a no doubles defense almost. You gotta just make sure that if they're gonna come out with anything, it's just a field goal, and just get aggressive in that pass rush, because I don't think Aaron is as good as he is without a clean pocket.
Well, that's for certain. Do you know what how many sacks did the Bucs have last week, Kinger, on the Packers? Was it 4?
I think 4 or 5.
Yeah, that definitely makes a big difference. Obviously,
no, that's the. That's the truth. And I think, Aaron will never admit it, but I straight up thought Aaron was a little rattled last week when he got hit a few times. Mechanics came a little off. Didn't seem confident with his throw. So Barney's got some truth to that.
And how do you feel about this Packers offensive line against, say, the Bears?
The Packers offensive line is elite. There's no other way around it. I will give credit to the Bears defensive line. The one area where I don't think the Bears are as strong this year as they have been in the past, maybe because Eddie Goldman's out, is that run defense. I think they're not quite to that level that they've maybe been at the past couple of years. But I'll give credit to them, but I'll take the Packers offensive line against anybody, right? Especially with a healthy Bakhtiari. So they've got depth there, and we'll hope they continue to improve and continue to keep rolling.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And the Bears tonight gave up 161 rush yards, 4.7 yards a run. So that is an area of concern for them for sure. But there was one more player I wanted to ask you about really quick, Kinger, before we move on. A.J. Dillon. I'm curious what his role on the Packers is here. I think a lot of people thought he was going to get 10 to 15 carries with Aaron Jones being out, and he ends up with 5 carries. So, is there a role for him? When they drafted him, the 2nd or 3rd round? Which round was it? 2nd
round. And I think there will be a role for him, but I kind of expected this week, to be honest. Jamaal Williams, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers in general have been raving about him since camp this year. And I think Jamaal Williams is a very suitable running back in this league. That man loves contact, and I'm pretty sure, his helmet flies off more than anybody else in the league right now, and I'm pretty sure he'd play without a helmet if they let him. That man, he likes to get hit. He's all about it. And I think, I kind of had a feeling if he got going, the Packers are going to roll with him. And, I know they didn't, absolutely kill it on the ground this week, but, in general, he did play very well, and he's a very good dual threat out of the backfield. So A.J. Dillon, eventually, him and Williams and Aaron Jones are both up for contracts at the end of this year. So I think they're trying to evaluate exactly where they're going to go with that long term. But Barney, you got something you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I just want to ask about that contract situation. It almost seems to me that the correct, way to go about this would just be feed Williams, right? Because let's say he goes down, right? Let's say he gets banged up. That's not really hampering anything for the future, because it seems to me that Aaron Jones is the guy, right? Aaron Jones is the guy that's going to get paid. You're not going to pay both of them. So you might as well, get A.J. Dillon in there here and there. But if there's a game like this last Sunday when Aaron Jones can't go, you just got to have the bell cow be Williams.
Absolutely, Barney, and I think that was kind of the game plan as well, especially when they saw he was making an impact earlier. And under the table, he is one of the best pass protecting running backs in the NFL. He is not afraid to stick his nose in there, and he does a very good job of protecting Rodgers. So I kind of figured that was going to be the case. Maybe I thought Dillon would get a few more snaps than what he did, but still, it was his highest season total thus far, obviously, because Aaron was out, and we'll see where it goes from here. But we'll see. The one highlight I want to say, boys, how about Jair Alexander, though? Do you guys see his stat line again this week?
No, I missed that one.
No, just one target again. Just absolutely out there. Will Fuller, who'd had himself obviously a very good season thus far. So, I mean, in week 4, 5, and 6, the last 3 weeks, Jair has held Ridley to 0 catches. Mike Evans had 1 target, 0 catches, and Will Fuller had 1 target and 0 catches in week 6. So Jair is a stud. People are, quarterbacks are not throwing his way, and he continues to prove, what I think is a pretty good Packers secondary. He's definitely the leader and elite player, and just shout out to him because he once again stepped up, and it's been a lot of fun watching him play football this year.
Yeah, and he's the top-rated cornerback on PFF right now, Kinger as well. And that's through 6 games. So.
Yep. So that's, again, we'll see how he does again against a good receiving core next week in Minnesota. But it's been a lot of fun, and he's killing it right now.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I think that's going to wrap up for our Packers discussion. But let's get on to the most exciting finish of the weekend. My Detroit Lions. Matt Stafford gets the ball with 1:04 left. On his own 25-yard line. All thinks this is also, please, should the pylon, or maybe I'll just send the gift basket to Todd Gurley for running it into the end zone when the Lions had no timeouts to get the ball back. Unbelievable. But anyways, Matt Stafford gets the ball with 1:04 left on his own 25, and 1:04, goes down the field, scores on the last play of the game. Just a beautiful, beautiful sight. That's a Matt Stafford that we know and love as Lions fans. And my God, just the throw he made to Kenny Galladay to set up that touchdown was marvelous. He had to loft it over the linebacker 30 yards. The safety was at 40 yards. He had to find that 35-yard cushion. And Kenny Galladay, pay this man. Pay Kenny Galladay. He's a free agent after this year, although the Lions can franchise him, which seems to be the route they're going to go eventually, franchising him. But I want a long-term. I want him to be happy because I'm happy when Kenny Galladay's on the field. The Lions are 3-1 this year when he's on the field. Just unbelievable, and great job by the offensive line to give Matt Stafford the time to throw on the last play of the game. I don't know why the Falcons weren't blitzing. They were getting after Matt Stafford all day. But finding T.J. Hockenson, Barney, T.J. Hockenson, 4 touchdowns now on the year, tied with Jimmy Graham in our race for the touchdown wars. But Barney, I know you want to throw something in here about this marvelous comeback by Matt Stafford.
Yeah, so take me back. My memory's a little fuzzy right now, but take me back to that Gurley run. Was it first down? Was it third down? Were they going for a first down? Why didn't they just kneel the ball?
That's a great question. That is bad coaching by the Falcons. It was first down. I was really pissed at the Lions, actually, because before that, it was 1st and 10. The Lions had 3 timeouts from the 20-yard line, and the Falcons had a 9-yard run on that first down. So it's 2nd and 1. Now, let's go back to last week when the Tennessee Titans had a 2nd and 1 from the 15-yard line, and Mike Vrabel throws out 12 players on the field just to get a free timeout for a legal substitution or whatever. They 12 men on the field from breaking the huddle. Anyways, we found out last week, and the whole league knew about it, that this stops the clock. Gives you a free timeout on 2nd and 1. Give them the first down. Because if the Falcons get a first down there, you have 1st and goal, and you have 3 timeouts. So no matter what, they're either going to score the touchdown and you get the ball back, fine. Or you use all 3 timeouts and you have all this extra time. Instead, on 2nd and 1, the Falcons didn't convert. They got the 3rd and 1. Lions used another timeout, but then the Falcons got a first down. So now the Lions had 1 timeout, and it's no timeouts by that point. It's 1st and goal. So all the Falcons had to need to do, Barney, is kneel, but Todd Gurley runs it in. Just unbelievable. And the Lions actually did a good job. They fake tackled him to make him not remember to go down, and then he waltzed right. Well, he didn't waltz right in. It was the most dramatic non-contact touchdown ever.
I thought it was almost like an ACL injury, the way he fell down. The Falcons invent ways to lose. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
They straight up. I mean, when all seems lost and it's going horrible for them, and they have a sure victory in front of their faces, they somehow dig deep and find a way to lose.
I saw this stat earlier. They have 3 games this season that they had over 98% chance win probability at one point in the game, and they've lost. That is, I think the rest of the NFL has 4 or something in total. I don't even know. It's just ridiculous. Like you said, they find different ways to lose, and quite honestly, You expected that to happen. As soon as you saw Gurley roll in, you knew that this was going to be another epic Falcons collapse because that defense has not stopped anybody all year long. It was just setting up for the perfect scenario for the Lions.
I mean, and actually the Falcons defense isn't playing that bad. Well, I would credit that more to bad play. This is the Darren Bevel's worst call game I've seen in the 2 years he's been with the Lions. There is some very, like on 4th and 1, they handed off. First of all, the Lions need to stop handing it to Adrian Peterson. DeAndre Swift is the best running back on this team. It makes no sense why Adrian Peterson is getting more carries than DeAndre Swift going forward. There's just a difference in the burst and just the recognition on the run. Adrian Peterson doesn't have it anymore. We can use him on short downs every once in a while, but he should be a backup on any NFL team. I don't know. I don't understand why the Lions are giving him the lead amount of carries. There's 2 4th and 1s though the Lions went for in this game, and both times they left a blocker, a D end unblocked off the edge, and he made the tackle both times. Now the Lions got away with it once because the Falcons had 12 men on the field, and the Lions got a first down out of it anyways. But that doesn't excuse the bad play calling. The Lions have been pretty predictable on short downs this year, just handing it off to a running back and running straight up the gut. So I want to see a little more creativity out of that because we saw it out of the Falcons in this game. The Falcons had a couple play actions on short yardage that the Lions could not cover. But I want to highlight 2 people on defense. Remy Okwara had his best game as a Lion by a wide margin, 90 grade on PFF. Just a beast. I think he had 5 hurries in this game. He had 2 sacks. One was huge. Matt Prater missed a 46-yard field goal. Matt Prater's struggling a little bit this year for some reason. Not hitting it with the reliability that we're used to as Lions fans. But anyways, so he misses that field goal to take a lead with 6.5 minutes left. Remy Okwara, 2 plays later, off the edge, just burns the Titans left tackle. I can't remember, the former first-rounder. Jake Matthews. Just burns him off the edge, strip sack fumble. Lions pick it up. Of course, they go nowhere and give Matt Prater another 47-yard attempt, which he made. But that was a huge play, just huge, because the Falcons were moving the ball at will pretty much in the 4th quarter. And then the other player I want to mention was Deshaun Hand, the inside D tackle. He hasn't been showing up a lot this year, but his run grade this year is the highest of any D tackle in the NFL. The Lions are stopping the run, finally. It took 4 weeks, but they finally found their personnel. John Penasini, the D tackle, Deshaun Hand in there, but Danny Shelton as well. He's been playing excellently. So if the Lions stop the run and get in those 3rd and long situations, they've been able to put on more pressure than we've seen at any time under Matt Patricia. But it's all about stopping the run for this Lions defense. If they stop the run, that's when they're successful. Holding the Falcons to 22 points is pretty good. That's still a good offense despite what their record has. And like you said, they could easily have 3 more wins right now. So it's King.
So let me ask you, Big Z, how much Kool-Aid have you had to drink over the last 24 hours?
So much.
It's beating the now 1-6 Atlanta Falcons. You feeling good? You still all hyped up about your Lions?
I'm so hyped up. My body was shaking all Sunday afternoon. After that game, because I thought we were dead in the water, and just to come out with a win right there is just insane. I just want to thank Todd Gurley so much for allowing us the opportunity to score that game-winning touchdown, because that was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen, to be honest. But I blame the Falcons coach for not just taking a knee right there. Don't put your players in that position. The other player I want to mention was Matt Stafford. This is the Matt Stafford we've been waiting all year to see. He's been up and down every game. He has a typical Matt Stafford throw, but then he also has a bonehead play. This week he had a little extra spring in his step. Maybe he was playing in his home state of Georgia for the first time in his NFL career, or his home college state, I should say. But Matt Stafford is the 4th best rated quarterback this week. He finally found that pocket presence, connected with T.J. Hawkinson. But he was just lasering the football all over the field this week. Marvin Jones finally got him involved. Kenny Galladay, I keep saying it, but I'll say it again. Pay that guy. Every catch that he had in this game was contested, but he came away with it every single time. Kenny Galladay's not a guy that is the greatest route runner because maybe it's his size or something like that, but it doesn't matter because he just catches the ball. they call them 50-50 balls, like when they throw it up and both the cornerback and the receiver go after it. But with Kenny Galladay, it's like 90-10. It's unridiculous. Him and Marvin Jones are the two best contested catchers last year per Next Gen Stats, and it's the same thing again this year. More so for Kenny Galladay. They had more contested catches than anybody in the NFL it was a wide margin last year. And part of that is Matt Stafford's ability to fit balls in the tiniest of windows because he has rocket arm strength.
And I think a part of that is also due to the fact that you guys are always trailing.
Well, I don't know. The Lions this year have had, 3-4 double-digit leads in the first half and then blown them?
I'm only teasing, dude. I'm so mad right now.
This is a big week for him, Barney. We let him have it. This is big for him.
The Lions have back-to-back wins, I think for only the second time in the Patricia era. They already matched their win total from last year. So I'm riding high. 3-3. They're at home against the Colts this week. They're already underdogs, which I don't fully understand that. But then they got the Vikings. They have the Redskins coming up. They can turn it around here and have some meaningful games in early December, or at least heading into the Thanksgiving game. So I like the way the schedule is playing out for them to at least make a run here in what is almost the second half of the season. But I like Matt Patricia, but as a coach and kind of what he stands for, but maybe not all his play calling, and definitely not the time management in this game. But I'm rooting for them to stick it out. I hope this team can keep playing because I think they finally got the players they want. They're figuring out in the run game. If Jeff Okudah can figure out how to play cornerback consistently, that'd be nice. He's still falling on the field every once in a while. I would say Jalen Johnson's playing better than him right now, Barney. And who's the other cornerback? AJ Terrell on the Falcons. I was watching him in this game. He looks a lot better than even Okudah. But Okudah has where Okudah's excelled this year is in run defense. He's actually one of the best run defenders from the cornerback position in the NFL this year. But it's obviously the passing game where he struggles. But the Lions kind of schemed that out of him this week. They didn't put him in a lot of positions to fail, which was nice to see. But man, I'm just high in emotion from that ending. The Lions are one dropped pass away from being 4-2. The DeAndre Swift drop against the Bears. And I thought when Matt Stafford threw it and TJ Hawkins is open, I'm like, he better catch that fucking ball. I don't want to see two drop passes as time expires to win the game. That would have broken my heart into too many pieces. I wouldn't be able to record this podcast.
Dude, let's talk about that Kenny Galladay catch, though. So brilliant display of athleticism there. But
he is a beast.
Let's just say this, though. I just want this out right now. The referees running in as that ball is within milliseconds of being snapped to contest or to review to see if that was a catch is the reason you guys won that game too. Because I think it was DeAndre Swift fell over.
No, he only fell over because the Falcons guy ran into him. The Falcons were offside, so that would have been a penalty on the Falcons. They had two guys offsides, including knocking our own running back over, running back to the line. So it would have been a flag on the defense, and actually would have had the ball at the 5-yard line. The refs actually screwed up too because Kenny Galladay caught that ball at the 8-yard line, and they spotted it at the 11-yard line for some reason. So it made no sense. But also this if you remember the Lions-Falcons game from 2 years ago in Detroit.
Yeah.
The Lions throw a slant to Golden Tate over the middle. They rule touchdown with 8 seconds left on the clock. But because the refs fucked up the call and said after review that Golden Tate was half a yard short, there's this weird-ass rule where there's a 10-second runoff, and the Lions lost the game because the refs fucked up. Now, let me tell you what would have happened if Kenny Galladay had not caught that ball and it was incomplete. There was 5 seconds left on the clock when he caught the ball, or 7. Either way, less than 10. If the ball was incomplete and the refs overturned that call, there would have been another 10-second runoff in this game, and the Lions would have had no chance to even throw a Hail Mary or anything like that. How fucked up is that? What is this rule where if the refs fuck up, your team gets hosed for it? How is this a rule still in the NFL? I don't get it.
I don't understand, and this is sports wide. It shouldn't stop here at football, but I don't understand how like grandfathered in these referees are. I mean, they should be held accountable. And when they fuck up, they should be docked pay. You know, I mean they dock all the bettors pay whenever they fuck up. And my bookie takes my money, you know, but they're just sitting there and they get all these trump cards. They can, you know, mess up left and right, but yeah, that's a dumbass rule.
I don't understand it at all. It's just befuddled me to no end. How if somebody makes a wrong call, you get the penalty for losing or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. And there was one more thing. The refs made a terrible call on a roughing the passer in this game that allowed the Lions to get a first and goal from the 1 yard line. I don't know if you guys saw that play, but these refs with. This is the problem. The NFL's have become super soft. Like, you keep hearing that. But man, if there's evidence of that, it's this where Matt Stafford got hit in the head, maybe just a touch, but like it was a hard hit. Matt Stafford threw a pump fake. The guy got in the air and then tackled him. So if anybody watched that game and saw that play, I was not happy with that call just as an NFL fan in general. And when the Lions scored, I was like, oh, okay. We didn't really deserve that one, but I guess we'll take it. But Barney, you have one more thing to add before we wrap this up.
Yeah, I want to say something directly to Ryan Pace. Dude, if you value your job and you think that you're somebody who can put together a team, there are 3 offensive linemen that could be playing in this league at a much better product than what you got going on. 2 guards by the name of Larry Warford and Quentin Spain, and a tackle, Cordy Glenn. These guys will take next to nothing contracts going into week 8 of the NFL. If you value your job, go get somebody who's worth a fucking damn and bear down. Because if you don't do something and you just trot this fucking offense out there, I swear to God, I'm going to be in Hallis Hall the entire offseason, egging the mother shit out of you every time you get out of your car.
Well, the one note on Larry Warford, Barney, is that he opted out for 2020, so he is not available as a free agent. Because that would be a really good free agent to get, actually, because he's a legit player.
Son of a bitch.
So, Ryan Pace, you can sign him. It might not work out. But, yeah, a lot of different emotions from our teams this week. But man, it's going to be exciting going forward here. What we got going, at least between our 3 teams. So Remy, they're a little more distant right now. But yeah, we'll have a lot more to talk about with Week 8 of the NFL season coming up. We'll talk about later this week. But for the Pylon, please follow us on Instagram at the Pylon, and please subscribe to this podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and please leave a review, especially on Apple. Really appreciate it. But I think that's going to wrap it up. So thank you, Kinger. Thank you, Barney. Remy, our Vikings fan, who's out here. I'm Big Z with the Detroit Lions. Thank you to our producer, Kit J. He's also been putting up those graphics on Instagram as well for us, or helping us out there. So that's highly appreciated as well. And producing the podcast, of course. So thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you later this week when we discuss Week 8 of the NFL season.